Good afternoon, everyone. I welcome all the participants and our resource person, Dr. K.C. Taide sir, to the third session of day 2 of our AICT IST sponsored online induction refresher program on innovations in concrete technology. I would like to introduce our today's resource person, Honorable Dr. K.C. Taide sir. Dr. Taire sir did his post-graduation from IIT Powai in 1985 with specialization in hydraulics. He has completed his LLB in 2010. He has also been awarded PhD in concrete technology. Sir Taide joined the Irrigation Department, now Water Resources Department, Government of Maharashtra in 1985 through MPSC. He has worked on Pent Hydroelectric Scheme, a 160 MW hydel project on lift irrigation scheme, and on right bank main canal of Kosikut project. Presently, he is working in Maharashtra Metro Rail Corporation Limited from last 4.5 years as Additional General Manager QC and Head Quality Assurance, Civil and Systems for Nagpur Metro and Pune Metro Rail projects executed under Maha Metro. He is actively involved in many professional bodies. He is Secretary of Engineers Forum, Nagpur. He is in National Governing Body of Indian Water Works Association. He was Vice President of ICI Chennai in the term 2013 to 2015. He is member of Bureau of Indian Standard BIS Concrete Subcommittee CED 2:2 on mass concrete. He has successfully organized many seminars and was organizing secretary convener for 4 national seminars organized by ICI jointly with IEI and ACCE. He has to his credit about 20 papers in various international and national seminars and journals. His major areas of work are implementing quality management systems and best practices in all works of Mahametro with continual improvement of quality. Let us begin our today's session on the science of self-compacting concrete and case study in Maharashtra Metro Rail project. I would like to request Taide sir to start the session.
Thank you. Namaskar to everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. Actually, my session was in the morning, but due to some meeting by the director, it was necessary to postpone it. And I am really thankful for Kuntekar sir to adjust in giving the first lecture instead of me and then giving his slot to me. Thanks to him and thanks to the management and the Sawant sir for bearing with me. And I would be presenting before you a topic which is called as self-compacting concrete. Many of you must be knowing, many of you might have worked in it, but I would be sharing my experience, and we have done self-compacting concrete when I was in Water Resources Department on 3 dams, and then I have done it in Maharashtra Metro Rail Corporation on an interchange station in one of the concrete trusses which is there. So I would be sharing the screen now, and this is my presentation, and it is the science of self-compacting concrete and a case study from Maharashtra Metro. There are 2 parts. The complete presentation of 106 slides is divided into 2 parts: the science of self-compacting concrete, and the part 2 is a case study from Mahametro, the use of self-compacting concrete of M60 grade. The grade is also high grade concrete in cast in situ highly congested reinforcement structure of Virendal concrete truss at interchange station of Nagpur Metro called as Sita Baldi station, where there is an interchange of 2 lines. The 2 lines, southwest corridor and east-west and north-south corridor meet here, and there is an interchange station. So this is the science. This is the metro train of Nagpur Metro. We'll start with a little introduction. As you all know, concrete is the most versatile material available on earth, construction material in most widely used also. However, concrete is most widely, even though it is widely used, but least understood. Why? Because we are converting a heterogeneous material into a homogeneous mass, which we require with a consistent and homogeneous and a consistent properties also. So we need to convert it. And so we call it concrete is a panacea of all problems in construction. So whenever a concrete is to be done, it has to be done properly. It has to be done such that the strength and durability criteria are met with. Some beautiful structures of concrete, because we are talking about concrete, and that to self-compacting concrete, which can be casted in many shapes and sizes, and to almost any shape available or which can be thought of by the architect. So let us see some of the structures wherein the shapes would be very important. And these are some of the shapes which are, as you say, are intricate also, and would require very high level of precision of working and constructions. Now, it is a small line from Asperdin. This is the specifications, or we will say that charter by the royal king, and what he says, it's a patent taken for cement, and wherein he called it as a artificial stone. So the patent which he got in 1824 was for artificial stone, which we call now as a cement. And concrete, as you know, has many definitions, and it is also defined as a flowing stone. That was artificial stone. When we talk about self-compacting concrete, it is a flowing stone, and SCC resembles it in the best way, because when we see SCC, it is nothing but a stone which is flowing now, and after some, when it sets down, when it hardens, it will be a stone type of thing, but it will be as hard as a stone or much stronger than many of the stones. This is the video clip, a very classical case of self-compacting concrete done very many years before in Bangalore, and very many videos are available such. But this I have considered, or I am showing it to you to show the 4 properties which are required by the self-compacting concrete, and those 4 properties are the flowability, the filling ability, the passing ability, and the segregation resistance. The flowability is how the concrete flows without segregation. Then the filling ability, how the concrete fills the formwork completely. The passing ability, as you can view here, that how it passes through the reinforcement, congested here, although the reinforcement are not congested, very congested, but then you want concrete which can flow through a congested reinforcement, and of course with without segregation. That means it should have a segregation resistance. Am I audible properly? Somebody answer?
Yes,
Sir. Yes.
Okay, no problem. Otherwise I would be, and after some time, after 50 slides, people would say, oh sir, it was not properly audible. That should not be the thing. The concept was initially designed in Japan, Tokyo, and further developed in 1990, and substantial use after 2000. So the first SCC was in Kaiga Nuclear Power Plant, then Tarapur Atomic Power Plants, Kota Atomic Power Plant, Delhi Metro, Gosikut project, which we did, which I was also associated, Purna Dam project, Amravati, and Lower Varda project, which also I was associated, and many more structure now, because every day the list is getting bigger and bigger. And the example being the signature bridge on river Yamuna, and also the Bandra Worli Sea project, which many of you might have seen. The photo here shows the signature bridge, and the top photo is of the Bandra Worli Sea. Indian scenario, few number of projects where SCC been used during the last few years: bridges, atomic power plant, dams, metros, monorails. And now also I would say that the adaptability or shift to the self-compacting concrete is limited, because people would think that doing SCC is doing some very intricate job. It's not like that. Once a concrete is designed properly by a concrete technologist, then what? the site people need is only a very properly designed formwork. So if the formwork is proper and without any leakages, and if the mix which is designed by a concrete technologist is proper, then SCC would be the best option, I would say. And I would also further go and say that the self-compacting concrete is the future of the concrete. So fiber reinforced concrete and the self-compacting concrete would be the future of the concrete, or should be the future of the concrete, because of the many advantages of the self-compacting concrete. Now the self-compacting concrete has been defined by very many, and if you see, go to website, you would find n number of definitions, but the three most important, or which we find that are most suited to us, is FNAR specifications, and what is defined by FNAR, what is defined by Khayat, what is defined by Japan Concrete Institute. Then there would be a Korean Concrete Institute also. So what is SCC as defined by FNAR? Is concrete that is able to flow and consolidate under its own weight, completely fills the formwork even in the presence of dense reinforcement, while remaining maintaining homogeneity and without the need for any additional compaction. So this is important. So the three things are its own weight, it will consolidate, it will completely fill the formwork, even in the presence of dense reinforcement is important, while maintaining the homogeneity and without the need of any external compaction. What Mr. Khayat, very regarded authority in self-compacting concrete, says is a highly flowable yet stable concrete is the one that can spread readily into place and fill the formwork without any consolidation and undergoing any significant segregation. So everybody talks about segregation, everybody talks about the filling ability, the passing ability. Japanese Concrete Institute, a concrete having self-compactability. Self-compactability is the ability related to the placeability with which it can be uniformly filled and compacted in the every corner of formwork by its own weight without vibration during placing. So this definition is also very apt and very good in explaining the various properties of self-compacting concrete. So self-compacting concrete, in short, is a highly workable concrete, slump in the range of 650 to 800, flow through densely reinforced and complex structural elements, as you will see in the lecture ahead, enough cohesion to adequately fill all the voids without segregation, without bleeding, without other separation of material, and without the need for vibration or any other mechanical consolidation, or without any outside energy being imparted to it. Useful wherever placement is difficult, such as heavily reinforced concrete members or in complicated formworks, and where vibration is difficult. So this would be the best option. And after going through this lecture, you may also try or take up projects in self-compacting concrete, and I would always be glad to be associated with them and telling you the minor things about it and where people normally would go wrong, or where they would find any difficulty. So the honorable professors and lecturers sitting here and listening to this lecture can always take up some small projects in self-compacting concrete. What you need is only, first is the will, the attitude, and secondly, the 3-4 instruments for checking, which can be easily fabricated in your workshops also. So SCC is considered as a preferred option due to its well-known properties of flowability, passability, and compactability. And we again and again would be talking on the properties, because these properties we should never sacrifice when you are designing self-compacting concrete. Very many people would say that our concrete is self-compacting only because they have got a slump of 300, 400. I would say that is not a self-compacting concrete. It is a rheodynamic concrete or a very high flow concrete, wherein there would be a possibility of segregation and compactability. So these two problems will persist in that, because it is not designed as self-compacting concrete. Then SCC is an excellent repair material, a congested reinforcement, secondary concreting of gate slots, complicated shapes, and everywhere where a man can think or an engineer can think of. these are situations where the self-compacting is preferred, and blow through narrow openings, flow through secondary concreting of gate slots. The second photograph, this is a Lower Varda project wherein the gate slots, what you are seeing, the curved radial gates slots are secondary concreting. They are filled with the self-compacting concrete. And the bottom photograph is one of the rafts in metro projects, wherein there is a lot of heavy congestion, and we need to go for self-compacting concrete. These are some of the examples. This is a pier of the flyover. This is the second photograph is a pier of one of the metro piers in Nagpur, and so also in Pune. You might have seen the same type of piers are there in Pune also. This is a congestion. And this is a Mumbai Metro monorail project wherein they have gone in for complete self-compacting concrete for piers also. These are the radial gates, and these are the gate slots where the concreting was done, and the concreting needs to be done when the gates are in position. So it becomes very difficult because from one side there would be formwork, and in the inside there would be inserts to hold the gates and the plate for gate sliding. So it's a very congested place wherein self-compacting concrete would be a better option. These are this is a Gosikur project, one of the biggest projects of national importance, a project of national importance. This is Lower Varda project wherein all the gate slots have been concreted with self-compacting concrete. The advantage, there are very many advantages. Some are I have enumerated here. Completely fill the formwork, can be placed and compacted, and it's a self-weight without any vibration efforts. Offers a rapid rate of concrete placement. This is another a very big advantage, because the concrete which the normal vibrated concrete wherein it would take 8 hours to place, the same concrete self-compacting can be put in 2 hours. So it can be put in 2 hours. So there would be 25%. In 25% time only, we can put the self-compacting concrete. Reduction of number of joints, use of fly ash on a very big scale because you require high pest content. So fly ash use is mandatory. If you are not getting fly ash, then you can go for the slag also. But fly ash is a better option because it is eco-friendly also. Then SCC enables reduction in noise, because if you are residing near to the works where the metro works are going on, and when the concreting goes on the night, and when they put in the vibrator, it makes a lot of noise. And this is a first-hand experience to many. And now imagine with no vibration, how quietly the concrete can be done. Then SCC requires reduced manpower, more innovative designs, more complex shapes, more thinner sections possible with self-compacting concrete. SCC exhibits greater stability than traditional concrete. When SCC used, internal bleeding is reduced because you have got a very good rheology of the concrete. The denser microstructure of the ITZ, that the interfacial transition zone in SCC, may contribute for a lower plastic settlement, higher bond between steel and concrete matrix, lower permeability to oxygen, and lower chloride diffusion coefficient. So even if you you have now oxygen permeability test, which is coming in IS 456 as a revision, so amendment, then there also will find that if you do XCC, it will have a lower oxygen permeability. In RCPT also, or chloride migration, as per Nordes test 492, it would be showing better results. Then SCC allows rapid pumping, as I have told you. SCC has improved aesthetics of funnel product. Actually, whatever SCC I have done, I have observed that the finishes of self-compacting concrete, due to the presence of fly ash, makes it so smooth that it resembles a concrete like marble. So संगमरमर जैसा दिखता है और संगमरमर जैसा feel भी होता है. So a concrete, and that really gives you a high level of confidence and satisfaction if your concrete which you are doing is having a marble finish. The review of technical literature shows that SCC can flow horizontally a distance of 15 to 20 meters without segregation. A well-designed SCC may have free fall of as much as 8 meters. However, from practical considerations, these distances are restricted to 10-meter horizontal flow and vertically less than 3 meters. So that segregation is further reduced, or we are not inducing any segregation due to mechanical efforts. There are limitations also, as we will be whenever there would be advantages, there would be disadvantages, or I call it as limitations. What are the limitations of self-compacting concrete? That it requires well-maintained high degree of quality control and quality assurance. That is for a simple reason that when you are producing a good which is highly technical, then you require that level of expertise, that level of confidence and expertise in putting the concrete, and so also the degree of quality control increases. SCC a higher plastic shrinkage. Why? Because it has more paste. So because the paste content is more, it will have higher plastic shrinkage. It will have somewhat lower modulus of elasticity because the paste content is more, and the aggregate size has to be reduced, and the percentage of coarser aggregate is also to be reduced. Then SCC requires good and leak-proof formwork due to flowable concrete. It's like filling water or filling a liquid inside the pot. So pot has to be leak-proof, otherwise everything will flow away. So mixing time may be longer than what for conventional vibrated concrete, because there is a more paste, and because the particle to particle interaction and dispersion should be proper, and because of the use of VMA, viscosity modifying agent, you require a little more mixing time. Then SCC is more sensitive to temperature during the hardening process, and SCC places more stringent requires on the selection of material. So the requirements are stringent, the quality control required is more, the plastic shrinkage is higher, the modulus of elasticity is lower. But these are very marginal compared to the advantages, and the advantages far outweigh the limitations of self-compacting concrete. And to understand self-compacting concrete, it is very essential that the rheology has to be understood, because you are playing with the rheology of concrete. You are making use of the rheology of concrete and this complete science of rheology in preparation of the self-compacting concrete. Now, rheology may be defined as the science of the deformation and flow of material, and is concerned with relationship between the stress, strain, rate of strain, and time. So all these things together, there is a relationship. The ratio of shear stress to shear rate is not constant for concrete. As you know, that the shear stress in the initial required for shearing the concrete would be very less when the concrete is just prepared. But as the time passes and as the concrete starts to harden, the shear stress required would be more and more. And at one stage, when it solidifies, it would be far greater than at the same stage. So this ratio is different. For fresh concrete, the flow equation is expressed by Bingham's. So this is the Bingham's equation is tau 0 plus mu into rho. So what is this? The rate of shear and the shear stress is defined by the slope is mu, and there is a fixed yield stress. So yield stress is fixed because otherwise when you see the concrete, when you take the slump, you see the concrete in a heap, and then when you try to displace it, you require some initial force that will be value of yield stress Y0, and then the concrete will go on flowing. So initially it has got some value, and this is a property we called as a thixotropic TPT. So thixotropic material. So concrete is not an ideal liquid, but it's a thixotropic material. And the concrete normally follows the Ingvar's equation under practical circumstances with certain limits, that yield stress is not well defined. The flow curves are not linear except over a limited range of shear rates. Afterwards, the flow curves would be non-linear because it would be more at first stage, and then it would go on reducing. So it would not be linear. And however, we can consider for practical considerations, for theoretical also, that Bingham's equation has to be applied. And this is the thing wherein if you plot, then this is a reference mix, and where the cursor is there, this is a reference mix. And if you want more, if you have more plastic viscosity, the flow will be, the concrete will be more viscous. And as for the same plastic viscosity, if yield stress goes on increasing, that it would be a stiffer mix. And if it goes on decreasing, it would be a wetter mix. So now understanding this has to be applied everything into the, when you are preparing the self-compacting concrete, because the stiffness, the wetness, the flowability, all will be considered while designing the self-compacting concrete. The parameters, the rheology of flake concrete like workability includes the parameters of stability. So these three parameters, what we called as SMC, or stability, mobility, and compactability. Here I have written stability, compactability, and movability or flowability. So all these three parameters mainly will encompass all these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parameters in turn. The stability of the flow or the stability of the concrete will be dependent on whether it has got a segregation resistance, whether the bleeding is present or not. If the bleeding is present, then we would say that the concrete is not stable. Then compactability will be dependent on relative density and how easily it can be compressed or put into the formwork which we are using. Then mobility will be dependent of internal friction, the cohesion, and the viscosity. So all these parameters are played with when self-compacting concrete is designed by addition of paste and by addition of viscosity modifying agent. So we are playing with the internal friction. We are adding a lot many superplasticizer, or I would call it as a hyperplasticizer, so that internal frictions are reduced. Then we are not increasing the, we are having proper mix design, properly graded material, and water mix ratio or water powder ratio, so that the bleeding and segregation is not there. The cohesive, the mix is at the same time cohesive, not too cohesive also, otherwise it will hamper with the workability. And then it should be viscous enough so that it can be molded into the shape. The rheological concrete, the factors affecting rheology are the mix proportion, the hardening and stiffening of the mix, the maximum aggregate size, the consistency, the aggregate shape and grading, and the admixtures. So all these factors would be affecting the rheological parameters. And if we take the reference mix, then if we have less different specification. So specifications would change as per the size and shape of the member and the its use or what it will be used for. Then typical acceptance criteria for SCC are the 600 to 800. This is the range given in FNARC. Then V funnel is 6 seconds to 12 seconds, and L box is 0.8 to 1, and U box is 0 to 30. So difference in height. Sorry. I will be dealing with this test also. And this is the flow chart for the design. Self-compacting concrete, you have to have flowability and stability, and all these will be covered and intermixed with limitation of coarse aggregate, then usage of superplasticizer, reduction of the water powder ratio, usage of viscosity modifying agent, and usage of higher powder ratio. And this would in turn affect the stability and flowability, which are intermingled. The parameters are intermingled. They would in effect would be affecting the self-compacting concrete. So we need to design a self-compacting concrete which will be a trade-off, or which would be a compromise in flowability and stability. And at the same time, we want mobility or mobility and compactability also. So all these things would be taken together, and design has to be done. Then materials for self-compacting concrete, the lower coarse aggregate content, increase paste content, lower water powder ratio, increase super plasticizer, or I would say the use of hyperplasticizer and addition of viscosity modifying agent. When I say hyperplasticizer, it would also mean that high range of super plasticizer. So there would be mid PCs, there would be high PCs, high range PCs, and addition of viscosity modifying agents. Viscosity modifying agents are the admixtures that modify the cohesion. The P functions are the rheological properties. They modify the rheology. Further, they are used to reduce segregation, to reduce washout in underground concrete, reduce friction and pressure in pump concrete, compensates for poor aggregate grading, especially a lack of fines in the sand, reduces powder content in self-compacting concrete, reduces bleeding in concrete, and improve green strength in semi-dry concrete. So all these things will give viscosity modifying its place in self-compacting concrete. And even though people would say that we can design a self-compacting concrete without VMA, with my experience or with whatever I have read, it would always be it would always be good to go in for self-compacting concrete, where we say that it is a mix of powder, also use of powder and use of viscosity modifying admixtures. Because for research work, okay, you can go in for only powder and design a self-compacting concrete without a viscosity modifying admixture. But when we are on field and our concrete mix is going to be used on field, and when it is a question of public life, or the structure in question is a public building or a public structure wherein thousands of people would be using it, it would always be better to use viscosity modifying agents and powder to go in for self-compacting concrete or to design the self-compacting concrete. Example of mixed proportion used in self-compacting vis-a-vis a regular vibrated concrete. Cement would be say same 10%, water would be 18%, but then the air would be 2%, but then the fine aggregate would be increased from 25% to say 26% plus additional 8%, which has carved out from the coarse aggregate. So coarse aggregate percentage would go from 45% to 35%, 36%. So this is where there is a change in the composition of concrete of normally vibrated concrete and self-compacting concrete. There are many approaches of mixed proportioning. In first category, the basic steps are determining the quantity of coarse aggregate and then deriving appropriate quality of mortar. In the second category, reverse is the thing, that you first design a suitable mortar and then go on adding the quantity of coarse aggregate. And it is the mixes are designed, as I have talked about, in three types. One is the powder type, wherein only powder content is much high. Powder is not only cement, but mineral admixtures also taken together. Then VMA type, only VMA is used, but powder is not used. And mixed type, that is the combined type, where mineral admixture content in the mix about 1/3 of the powder and lower quantity of VMA is used. So VMA is used and also the powder is used or mineral admixtures are used, would be the best type of self-compacting concrete as far as field is concerned. Then the basic mix proportioning methods are into 4 methods, like empirical methods, the rheology based methods, the particle packing models. There are 2 models. One is the discrete model, one is the continuous model, and the statistical methods. And these guidelines are not intended to provide specific advice, but table below gives an indication of the typical range of constituents. So when you have to start, then these DEFNAR gives us a table wherein you can go what should be the powder in the range and what would be the volume or paste, how much paste would be there, how much water should be there, and all these things. preparation, a word of caution, because SCC is, as I told, is less tolerant to changes in constituent characteristics. So what we require is that whatever constituents we are using for mixed design, the same should be there on the site. It's not that different components we are designing and then the field there would be some, or when the production would take place in the batching plant, there are some different components, because the constituent component change, the characteristic would change, and SCC is then less tolerant to the changes. Then when I say less or more, it is always with respect to the normal vibrated concrete. So all aspects of production and placing be carefully supervised. The production of self-compacting to be carried out in plants where the equipment, operation, materials are suitably controlled under a quality assurance scheme. The formwork needs special attention. Formwork design, support, and fixing system should assume that a full hydrostatic pressure is applied to the formwork, and not only full hydrostatic pressure, but as you know, the density of concrete is approximately 2.4 to 2.5 of green concrete. So we have to say 2.5 times the hydrostatic pressure. That is the pressure applied by the water. So experience shows that SCC does not forgive any shortcuts. So if you are going for any shortcuts or any assumptions, then you will not be forgiven and you will have to pay for your mistakes. So this is a word of caution before we proceed ahead, before we go for placement, transportation, and placement of concrete, self-compacting concrete. Production. For production, the loading and mixing sequences are more important as it contains high amount of finer particles needed to be efficiently dispersed. And that's why the loading times or the loading cycle or the mixing cycle is more. Experience has shown that the time necessary to achieve complete mixing is longer than the normal vibrated concrete due to reduced frictional forces and to fully activate the superplasticizer. So these are small things which are also mentioned here in my presentation, because this is where without proper understanding people are nowadays going that we are preparing self-compacting concrete, but that is not a self-compacting concrete. It would be a rheodynamic concrete, or it would be a concrete wherein only a high slump is there. That is not a self-compacting concrete. It is important that preliminary trials are carried out. When we did in 2006 and 2007 the concreting in WRD, that time it was very much in the initial stages, and we used to do normally 10 to 12 mix designs and mixes in the laboratory to achieve at a particular mix design. Here in Metro, because of the experience, we could do it in 5 trial mixes. After production, the concrete has to be seen for visual stability index, VSI. So this concrete, the first one with a value of 0 is highly stable. One is stable with short bleeding, slight bleeding at the edges. Then unstable with bleed concentration at the center, and mortar is also getting separated, as you can see. And then the value 3 is highly unstable, wherein there would be segregation at the center, and there would be significant bleeding of the water bleeding as well as the pest bleeding. The transportation and delivery can be delivered either by truck or truck agitator or the transit mixer. Main advantage is the increase in speed of placing. But this advantage has to be taken care of, because we should have the formwork ready beforehand, and we should have the people to manage such concretes which are arriving at a greater speed, and which the pump is able to put it into the site. So it is essential that the production capacity of the plant, journey time, placing capacity at site are all well balanced, and that is where the planning comes into picture. You have to plan beforehand, you have to plan in detail. The production stops can result in thixoportic gelling of concrete that are already placed, and this may affect the filling ability on restarting. So this would be another thing which is not there in normal concrete, because thixotropic gelling of concrete would not be there. But here, since it is in the form, gel form, or what we call it as a suspension form, there would be thixotropic gelling. And what is thixotropic gelling is that you require a great amount of energy again to be imparted so that the concrete again flows. Because when it is flowing and you are stopping, then it will stop flowing and it will be at that place where it has been filled. And then again, if you want to move the concrete ahead, it would be requiring energy also. So we have to avoid that. It should be a continuous process. Once we start the concreting, it has to be finished. So when we did it in our project in Maha Metro, we started and it was going all through the night. So we cannot have stops, and that's why the planning has to be done such that physically we cannot stop and it should not stop. So all these things have to be taken care of. The site requirements are prior to delivery. The site, these shall include that the site can place the concrete at agreed delivery rates, that acceptance procedures are agreed, personnel are trained, and formwork is leak proof. So leakage proof formwork has to be prepared. The formwork pressure already I told you the formwork design, and these are some of the formworks erected, and a very high level of formwork. And we in Metro also go in for a very good. You might have seen in Pune, whom you have, might have visited, or in Nagpur also. You can see in Bombay also, for that matter. Any metros would have a very good formwork for piers and pier caps. The same type of formwork, a heavy formwork, leak-proof formwork, we have to prepare. This is a formwork where we can pump the concrete bottom up. So this is another advantage. See, normally the concrete would have to be placed from the top down by putting the chute or whatever, the pump, the delivery pipeline inside the concrete, and then, or the hose pipe, and then the hose pipe has to be pulled up as the concrete gets filled up. But here, because you are filling a liquid in the container, as if you are filling, you can fill it from the bottom. But when you are putting it from the bottom and it will be rising up the formwork, you have to consider the pumping pressures also. This is a photograph of one of the in smooth finish, as I told you, without any blemishes. And this is the Gosikur project photograph, wherein you can see it's a very high glossy finish, a very good finish. लोग बोलते थे जो आके देखते थे सब, ये तो संगमरमर फिनिश जैसा दिख रहा है, ये तो कंक्रीट लग ही नहीं रहा है. Like that, the comments were there. I'm actually telling you the comments which I heard in Gosikur project. And slabs. These are the placing by, this is a placing by tool, that is a placing, direct placing from the TM, which should be avoided. And then the best way is to put by pump. And as you see that the pumping of the concrete is being done, self-compacting concrete. And there near the pump, you have 2-3 laborers. And once the pouring position is fixed, no labor is required other than to move that this position from here to say 5 meters or 5 meters this side. So it would be a concrete wherein the labor necessity would also decrease at site, and it would be a silent concrete. Pumping is the most common suitable method of, and you can see this is self-compacting concrete, and you can see how watery it is with a slump, high slump. Then there are 4 methods, which are 4 characteristics and very many methods. One is the flowability or filling ability, slump flow, then viscosity, T500, V-funnel, Orimet is the test method, passing ability, L-box, U-box, J-ring, and segregation resistance. So we can go to some of the methods, and this is the test method of flow test. And here it is a Brown comb which is placed, and then it is lifted and the slump is measured. The flow, total flow, and the total flow at 500, diameter of 500 is measured. So the time which the flow requires to pass this 500 mm diameter, if the flow is T500 or T50, it is the time which the concrete takes to cross that line, and the total flow is the final flow. It can be measured, and also the time required to spread that can also be measured. So this is we are measuring, and this is actually measurement. You can see the photograph here. It is 65 and normally 66. So 660. So the flow is slump is 660 mm. This is a small video I would be starting. Can you hear the music?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Here you can see the concrete moving, how beautifully, without any compaction, external efforts, without any vibration efforts, it is moving. And this is the V funnel test, wherein there is a funnel. These equipments, as I told you, can be fabricated in your workshops, in the college workshops, and can be used. And the specifications and the shapes are given everywhere. And you can go and you have to fill this, and then this hinged trap door is to be opened, and the time required to so that this becomes completely drawn out is to be noted. So time taken for the flow through the passing the apparatus is measured. In L box, there is a trap door, and then you have to fill this, and then the flow takes place here. And if it is ideal liquid, the height here and the height here would be the same. But when the concrete is there, it should be between 0.8 to 1. So when you go towards 1, it will be a good flow, and H by H2 upon H1 is the ratio, blocking ratio, they say. Then this is U box. You have to fill it from one side. Many of you must have worked also on this, or might have seen it, but here I am just refreshing your knowledge that these are the things which needs to be done, and these are the properties, the typical ranges. The T500 should be 2 to 5 seconds. The V funnel should be 6 to 12 seconds, and L box should be 0.8 to 1, and U box should be 0 to 30 mm. So all these tests which have been shown are shown in blue color. And as I always tell you, there is a word of caution, because this I have come as a concrete technologist. I have come across very many people when we go to site. सर बोलते हमने तो बहुत सेल्फ कॉम्पैक्टिंग कंक्रीट किया, 300 स्लम का किया, 450 स्लम का किया. So I used to say which method you used, and what was it a combined type, or how much powder was there. They are not able to answer, but they will only talk about the slum. But that is not self-compacting concrete. We can call it as a high slum flow concrete, which does not possess the properties of SCC. A concrete qualifies to be called as self-compacting concrete if it has 4 properties, that is flowability, filling ability, passing ability, and segregation resistance. So these 4 properties, if are present, then the concrete qualifies for to be said as the self-compacting concrete. These are the SCC used in gate slots, as I told you. In Gosikoot project, lift not more than, for normal concrete, the problems were lift not more than 1.5 meters, because that is the lift height which we specify when you teach concrete technology also, that the concrete should not be put more than 1.5 meters. Otherwise, it will have a segregation. So lift should not be more than 1.5 meters at a time. Then if there are more lifts, then it is time consuming. Thickness is 250, which use embedments. This was the case in Gosikoot and all the 3 dams where the gate slot concreting, secondary concreting was being done. Honeycombing, leakages through this concrete takes place through this secondary concrete. So we went for self-compacting concrete, where lifts up to 6 to 9 meters were possible. no vibration, no honeycombing, and total SCC executed 2000 m. So details of SCC executed 33 numbers spillway and emergency gate slots of 2896 meters and lifts of 6 to 9 meters. So if we would have gone for 1.5 meter height, number of lifts would have been more, and the time taken, because every time the lift has to be executed, then the shuttering would be there, and then here we can put a shutter of 6 to 9 meters at one go and then fill the concrete inside. This is the shutter. You can see this is this height. This is a very big gate of 70 feet height, and you can see that we are doing it in 1, 2, and there would be a remaining portion. So it was done in a great height of 6 meter, lifts of 6 meters. Lower Varda also, total blockout plane 31, and 1188 lifts would have been required for concreting, conventional concreting, which got reduced to 1/3 because we have gone for 4.5, 6 meter and more than that lift. So it has reduced drastically. This is the photo of the Lower Varda. And these are some of the literatures which needs to be gone through before self-compacting concrete research work or before some project is taken up. And this is one of the, as I told you, it is a handbook, WRD handbook, chapter number 3, self-compacting concrete. I was the author of this chapter, WRD handbook, chapter number 3. And April 2019 it has been released. However, the chapter was long written in 2014-15. However, as per the government procedures, it went through all the offices, then there were comments, and then it was given to many other WRDs of many other departments, state governments, and then their comments were there. All were compiled and all were complied. And then this chapter has been taken out. So this is available in government workshop, the government government की जो press रहती है, government press, it is available in Bombay and in Nagpur also. And now we'll go to a case study of Mahametro, use of self-compacting concrete in cast in situ highly congested reinforcement. How much time do I have? Sawan sir?
Yes, sir.
How much time do?
So you can continue.
Okay, no problem.
Yes.
This is the viaduct of the, and then what is a Verandel truss? Is a Verandel truss or a rigid frame truss was first introduced by Professor Arthur Verandel in Belgium in the beginning of 20th century. So it is more than 125 years old. The Verandel truss is a structure where the members are not triangulated but form rectangular openings, and the members of the truss are joined rigidly together, and each member is required to transmit bending, shear, and direct stresses. The advantages of Verandel truss are simplicity, simple detail, less weight than conventional truss, time saving, and resulting cheaper casting cost than conventional truss. Due to heavy congested reinforcement steel in the structure, normal concrete pouring in formwork and layer-wise compaction using needle vibrator found practically difficult, and self-concrete is designed and implemented. Why we went in for is because of two problems which we foresaw. That is because of the heavy congestion, which I used to say would require self-compacting. And when the site people saw that the beams are 1.5 meter depth, and it would be very difficult to compact the concrete when you put it down, because there are slender sections and deeper sections, so it would be difficult. So then we went in and we shifted to this type of concreting. This is the station, interchange station, as I told you, is a Sitabardi, by name Sitabardi interchange station. In Pune, we have got such interchange station at Civil Court. And here, this is a north side towards Automotive Square, and This is north-south corridor, this is east-west corridor, and you have got this structure wherein both the corridors are crossing each other, and you have a very big building. And normally this is very congested area. It's a main area, like you can call it like for going to you can say it is in Pune, if you say, because more of the people may be accustomed with Pune terminology, Gymkhana, Deccan Gymkhana, something sort of that. So it was very congested, so the spans were bigger, and this was the section. The spans was 21.5 meter by 38 meters. So the Virendal truss was, the main beams were 38 meter, and there were 4 column or piers we call it, and then the structure was supported by the 4 main periphery beams, main beams, and with intermediate beams. So these are the peripheral beams, 1, 2, 3, 4 along the periphery, and these are the intermediate beams. And section was like this, wherein the pier is going, and this is the main beam, peripheral, and then there would be beams in between. Ordinary cement was used. The fly ash used was from Reliance Thermal Power Plant near Nagpur Butiburi, and the cement was OPC 53 grade, and the fly ash was having a fineness of 488 blends, or we can say meter square per kg, and fineness of cement was 292. So the cement, the fly ash requirement as per the code is more, it should be more than 300. We have got a very good fine fly ash which was used. And then these are the loss on ignition, all parameters we tested. We did a lot of extensive testing here because we were certain that this type of case study needs to be told to many people, like you people, the professors and the lecturers. So also very many professionals would be interested in knowing the case study. So we did all the testings possible. Then polycarboxylate ether-based high-range water-reducing brand, Fosroc brand was used as VMA, and viscosity modifying agent was Oramix V100, and Oramix 400 was the hyperplasticizer or high-range superplasticizer. And these are the specifications with pH and dry material content as required as per the Indian standard 9103. And coarse aggregate was 12.5 maximum. So this was the maximum size 12.5. And as I told you, we did 5 mixed designs, and TR5, trial number 5, was finally adopted. So the cement content was 450, because since this was a M60 grade concrete, 450 is the limit, as you all know, put up by the Indian standard, that 456 puts a higher limit of 450 kg pure cement, and then you can add fly ash. So fly ash added was 170 kg, taking the total powder to 620 kg, and with a water powder ratio of 0.28, 0.3, and then the water contents, you can see it is what it was, 174 kg, with high range water reducer of 4 kg per cubic meter, and the VMA 1 kg per cubic meter. So temperature taking, slump flow test, and this is by taking the sieve aggregation L box. These tests we did. V funnel test. There are some videos also. If they are there, I'll show you afterwards. The slump flow test, flowing ability, passing ability checked after 2.5 hours also. And here it was not achieved, and hence this trial of excess, where here we achieved it satisfactory, but this was more satisfactory. So we went in for trial number 5. Fly ash was 28%, Cement 72%. Coarse aggregate, river sand. And these are the values for the mixed design TR5. And this is the test. However, the video would not be, just a minute, I will go back. Video would not be by a professional, is not by a professional photographer. So it will have, because it is taken by a quality control engineer, but no problem, we can always see the video. Because they were doing the test at in the laboratory, so, and this is actual video, uncut video. There would be n number of questions by the people because they may not be very conversant with this type of methodology or concrete. And you can see the flow, the first go. This is really creditable. This is the view.
निकल गया पूरा 6 सेकंड में
6 seconds, yes.
क्या फंस गया
So this was the type of testing which was carried out in the laboratory also, and on site also some testings were done. There were 3 layers of Virendal truss, and each layer contained approximately 550 cubic meters of concrete along with 1100 MT of reinforcement. And you can see the reinforcement here. It is too congested. And the size of major Virendal trim was 38.5 meter with 2.8 meter depth, highly reinforcement. The dense reinforcement was of the range of 210 kg per cubic meter. Normally, you know that the reinforcement in normal structures would be in the range of 80 to 120 kg. But here, due to congestion, the ratio went to 210 kg per cubic meter of concrete. And the peripheral length of longitudinal and transfer beams, all was calculated, concreting done in 30 centimeter layer, quantity 39.5 cubic meter. 2 concrete pump boom placers were deployed, location of second boom placer, location of first boom placer, and the concrete flew in this and this direction. And then there were some intermediate beams also. So rate of concrete pumping of boom placer kept 15 cubic meter during concreting. STC was designed for a time of 3 years retention, hence the layer of concrete for complete periphery could be easily placed. So that time was calculated. By the time we reach at the same location, it should be within a reasonable time, or definitely less than 3 hours retention time. So this is the site photograph. You can see the 2 beam placers, and they are putting the concrete at one place, and the concrete is moving. These are the peripheral beams. You can see the peripheral beams, and these are the intermediate beams. This is the first level of Virendal truss. Batching plant 2 numbers, capacity 30 cubic meters. Boom placer 2 number, capacity 30 cubic meter per hour. Stationary 1 as a standby, because if there is some failure, our concrete should not failure of the boom placer, then our concrete should not stop. That's why a standby pump was also there. Then transit mixer 13 numbers, and 3 were standby, and appropriate steps at batching plant, TM checking point and placement point, because TM which brings the air has to be checked thoroughly. It has to be sealed. Otherwise, people should not add water or something. So it has to be, there was a transit mixer checking point also, and placement point also. There were engineers deployed and other people who used to foresee how the concrete is being put. Contingency plans also prepared in advance for all preventive actions to avoid breakdowns. Standby machineries and equipment, batching plant 1 number was a standby because there were two. One could easily be said as standby. Then transit mixers, actually three, but they say they had five transit mixers. Two were already there standing, so we did not count it. But then okay, it would be said as five because those two could also be deployed in case of emergency. Stationary pump 1 number was a standby, and in case any emergency, concrete pressing work could be stopped using arrangement. Wooden battens could be inserted vertically to make barrier for further concrete flow at 1/3 length of the beam. And wooden battens could also be inserted vertically to make barrier for further concrete at 1/6 length of the beam. So these positions were taken from the structural engineer, that in case we were to stop the concrete for any unforeseen things, which we were prepared. But unfortunate if event happens, then how to stop the concreting? By inserting wooden battens. Otherwise, and it has to be inserted vertically, so the joint has to be vertical, so that thixotropic gelling would not be there. But if the concrete flows to a distance and with a small thin layer, then it would have been difficult. Concrete layers could be protected from rain using polythene sheet, etc. So that are normal things. And these are the flow. These are the tests which are taken at the site before pouring and after pouring. So these were the one. V funnel, L box and U box are conducted 2 times only in 2 concrete pours because equipment handling at site would be difficult, and mostly it would be done in night times, the starting of the concrete, because in the daytime reaching of TM in such a dense populated location would be difficult. Then slum flow and are carried out for 196 transit mixers, and their average values as mentioned. So T500 and slum flow were taken because it was a small instrument only, a flow table. So it was possible. And we took repeated tests for 196 transit mixers, and these are the average values. This is the flow of our concrete. You can see this is shot by a handheld mobile camera. You can see the flow, and it is going in 90 degrees also. This is a main beam, and this is a beam. These are the jointing beams or secondary beams. So you can see the concrete flowing as well as it is going in 90 degrees also. So the beauty of that. This is the actual site photo video. Another video. Actually, then the contractor was told not to move because they are in a habit of moving the pipe, which is not required. But just so that the flow should be higher, they were doing it. And afterwards, they were told not to move the hose pipe and keep it stationary at one location. Then all other tests such as rapid chloride penetration test, permeability test, flexure testing, split tensile test, drying shrinkage, moisture movement, chloride content and sulfate content was also done. And the actual results, they were done in Bureau Veritas India Limited laboratory. And we have got a very good value of 1252 coulombs RCPT, which is in a low category. and then permeability of 8 mm against the required of 25 mm. Flexural strength also we got good flexural strength more than required. Split tensile, drying shrinkage also very less. Moisture movement, chloride content 0.2% against 0.5%, and sulfate content. So all the values were very good, and in general the cube compressive strength also we evaluated for 7 days, 28 days and 56 days also, just to see how the strength is increasing with time, because we have used lot of secondary cementitious material, that is fly ash, and we are required to use. That's why we just assess how much is with the strength at 96 days, 56 days. So number of sample tested at 7 days were 9, at 28 days 34, and at 56 days 9. And these were the laboratory strength. That's 54.65 was the laboratory strength at 7 days. Against that we got 54.09, a good conformance, then 71.34, 70.22, and 78.88 we got 78.04 average compressive strength. So, and the standard deviation was 1.8 mm newtons per mm square, and the coefficient of variance was only 2.6, which qualifies for excellent gradation of coefficient of CV. So here second important thing is you can see at the side there is little less strength achieved because of curing conditions, and so 78.88, 78.04. So we as concrete technologies or as execution should also bear this in mind, that whatever strengths we are getting in laboratory, there would be a little loss of strength when you do the same concreting with the same degree of care. There would be a less, a very small, although insignificant loss in strength. Also, at 56 days, there would be increase in gain in strength, and you can see almost 10% increase in set, 11% increase is there in the strength from 28 to 56 days. This is the graphical representation of the 7 days, and this is for 28 days compressive strength, and this is for 7 days, 28 days and 56 days strength. After the formwork is removed, you can see the smooth surface after deshuttering, and these surfaces still today are visible, where they are now painted but not plastered. So it is form finish concrete, and you can see the finish, although the depth here you can see was the main beam is 2.8 meter, this is 1.5 meters. You can see the finishes and the haunch portion, etc. No, normally the honeycombing would be coming near the haunch portion where there is negative slopes, a negative change in direction of the shutter. So after deshuttering, concrete surface found smooth without any defects. And these are the conclusion. VMA plays a crucial role, as I have been telling, for maintaining its cohesiveness, avoid segregation, excellent quality control, and good construction practices are required. Designed and leak-proof formwork is necessary. Without VMA, self-concrete can be designed, but strict control during production is required, as HWRA is very sensitive in concrete. Minor changes in doses or moisture correction will easily affect the concrete mix. Recommended water powder ratio is between 0.85 to 1.1, but on the basis of field trials and parameters of filling ability, passing ability, segregation, we could do the mix design with 0.79 as in trial mix 5, which would translate that more powder can be used. Because of more powder, there was a good finish, and because of the more powder, the RCPT value would also go down. So I am thankful to our Honorable Managing Director, who is always there for us in motivating our work and giving inputs and how we should progress ahead. So I'm really thankful to him and the director project, my director, for supporting me and giving me permission also for this lecture as sought by Sawant sir. So I am thankful to all of you also for your patient hearing. And if any questions are there, I would be happy to answer them. If the questions are not ready now also, or some are not ready, then you can ask me the question. My email you have given, I given keshav.tide@mahametro.org. My phone number 7400040055. So over to the organizers. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Participants having any questions can ask.
I will stop sharing now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
No questions, sir, I think.
Okay. Even if they are not there at present, I would be there because what I feel is the polytechnic level, at polytechnic level also some few experiments can be done regarding the use of self-compacting concrete, not a high research in the microstructure but in the use in the practical applications of self-compacting concrete. And this can be taken up by the faculty who are attending such programs from polytechnic as well as engineering colleges. So that would be my, I would say, a suggestion, and also I would be glad to be associated. Thank you. Thank you, Sawant sir.
Thank you, sir, for conducting such an informative session on science of self-compacting concrete and sharing your work on the case study on Maharashtra Metro Rail project. Your session was very elaborate, interesting, and detailed. I am sure all the participants have thoroughly benefited from your session. Thank you, sir. Thank you once again.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. I am leaving now. Thank you. Yeah.
Yes, sir. You can do this. Thank you. Feedback link has been shared in the chat box.